If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
Let us now look at this question. An Agile project has a capable Scrum Master who is able to train the product owner and to create interactions between the team members. The Scrum Master is outsourced from another company with a high pay. The management wants to promote one of the team members to become a Scrum Master and replace the current Scrum Master. They think that development is now driven by tools and processes. Which one of the following answers is the least applicable response to the management decision? Answer A. If the process or the tools drive development, the team is more responsive to change. Answer B. Interactions are limited by processes which are limited by tools. Answer C. Tools cannot be easily changed. Answer D. Individuals such as a Scrum Master promote fruitful interactions of the Scrum team. Let us project all of those answers on the first value of the Agile Manifesto, which is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Answer A. If the process or the tools drive development, the team is more responsive to change. Actually, the Scrum Master can create more interactions between the team and therefore become more responsive to change. While both the processes and the tools can limit the team interactions and response to change. Therefore, this answer could be the least applicable response. Answer B. Interactions are limited by processes which are limited by tools. This answer is an applicable response to management decision. Because tools and processes can limit interactions between the team. And therefore it is in line with the first Agile Manifesto value. Answer C. Tools cannot be easily changed. This answer is an applicable response to management decision. Because if we look at tools like the SAP, it is difficult to change such a tool and replace with another tools. And therefore it is in line with the first Agile Manifesto value. Answer D. Individuals such as a Scrum Master promote fruitful interactions of the Scrum team. This answer is an applicable response to management decision. Because this has been mentioned in the question. It is also in line with the first Agile Manifesto value. Therefore, of the four answers, answer A is the least applicable response to the management decision. You can also go to the video link at the bottom of the screen so that you can have more explanation for the first Agile Manifesto value. Let us now look at this questions. In the middle of a sprint of an Agile project, a customer wants to add a feature that will add value to the product. Which one of the following answers is the least applicable response of the product owner? Answer A. Accept the change in the current sprint since Agile project welcomes changing requirements. Answer B. Discuss the feature with the customer to understand how important it is. Answer C. Reject adding it to the current sprint. Answer D. Add the feature in the product backlog and reprioritize the product backlog. To answer this question, let us first clear this confusion. Agile project welcomes changing requirements. The product roadmap consists of multiple releases. The release consists of multiple iterations. The product backlog consists of multiple release backlogs. The release backlog consists of multiple sprint backlogs. Making changes in the current sprint backlog is not possible because it is fixed. But changes in the next sprint is possible. Let us now take the answers one by one. Answer A. Accept the change in the current sprint since Agile project welcomes changing requirements. This could be the least applicable response since a change in the middle of a sprint is not acceptable. Answer B. Discuss the feature with the customer to understand how important it is. Discussing the feature with the customer is good for the team to be prepared to do it in the next sprint. Therefore, it is not the least acceptable response. Answer C. Add the feature in the product backlog and reprioritize the product backlog. Adding the feature to the product backlog and reprioritizing the product backlog can make this feature at the top of the next sprint so that it can be done once the current sprint is completed. Therefore, this answer is not the least applicable response. Answer D. Reject adding it to the current sprint. Since the feature cannot be added to the current sprint, rejecting adding it to the current sprint is a must. Therefore, this is not the least applicable response. Therefore, answer A is the least applicable response. Let us now look at this question. A project will utilize an iteration with a fixed scope due to lack of stability and requirements. Which one of the following answers is least applicable to the project? Answer A. This is a predictive life cycle. Answer B. This is an adaptive life cycle. Answer C. This is a change-driven life cycle. Answer D. This is an agile life cycle. With an adaptive approach, the detailed scope is defined and approved during an iteration planning meeting, at the start of the iteration and then fixed at the sprint. A. This is a predictive life cycle. The life cycle is not predictive, therefore this is the least applicable answer. B. This is an adaptive life cycle. The iteration is part of adaptive life cycle, therefore this is applicable. C. This is a change-driven life cycle. The iteration is part of a change-driven life cycle, therefore this is applicable. D. This is an agile life cycle. The iteration is part of an agile life cycle, therefore this is applicable. Therefore, answer A is the correct answer. Let us now see this question. A project is approved to build 10 power plants. The contractor has a good experience in this business, therefore, the requirements are clear. One exception about this project is that a new monitoring technology will be used in this project. There is uncertainty about this technology, and this is the first time for the contractor to work on such a technology. Which project life cycle can be used for this project? A. Combined agile and predictive approaches. B. Predictive approach with some agile components. C. Largely agile approach with predictive components. D. Predictive approach only. Most of the work in this project will be done in a predictive approach with some agile for the new technology. A. Combined agile and predictive approaches. This is incorrect answer because most of the work will be done with a predictive life cycle. B. Predictive approach with some agile components. This is the correct answer. C. Largely agile approach with predictive components. This is an incorrect answer because agile has a small part of the project. D. Predictive approach only. This is not correct because a little part of the work is done by agile. Let us now look at this question. An Agile project team wants to know how much requirements should be documented as user stories for the product development. What should the team do to ensure that this purpose is met? A. Ignore the requirements documentation. B. Prepare only the requirements technical specifications. C. Focus on the software and ignore the documents. D. Prepare the must-have documentation. As per the second Agile Manifesto, value working software over comprehensive documentation. Agile does not eliminate documentation, but it streamlines it in a form that gives the developer what is needed to do the work. Agile documents requirements as user stories, which are sufficient for a software developer to begin the task of building a new function. The Agile Manifesto values documentation, but it values working software more. Agile project teams produce fewer, more streamlined documents that take less time to maintain and provide better visibility into potential issues. A. Ignore the requirements documentation. Incorrect. Documentation needs include requirements documentation, which includes details about product features and needs. Documentation needs also include product technical specifications, which document how you created a product and can make future changes easier. Therefore, ignoring the requirements documentation will exclude a major part of the must-have documents, and therefore the answer is incorrect. B. Prepare only the requirements technical specifications. Incorrect. Documentation needs include requirements documentation and product technical specifications. Therefore, preparing the requirements technical specifications only will also ignore the requirements documentation, which will exclude a major part of the must-have documents, and therefore the answer is incorrect. C. Focus on the software and ignore the documents. Incorrect. Documentation needs include requirements documentation, which includes details about product features and needs. Documentation needs also include product technical specifications, which document how you created a product and can make future changes easier. Therefore, ignoring the requirements documentation will exclude a major part of the must-have documents, and therefore the answer is incorrect. D. Prepare the must-have documentation. Correct. Preparing the must-have documentation means preparing the requirements documentation and product technical specifications. Requirements documentation includes details about product features and needs, while product technical specifications can document how you created a product and can make future changes easier. Therefore, this includes the major parts of the must-have documents, and therefore, this is the correct answer. Let us now look at this question. A second generation of a new technology is going to be in the market in a few months by two competitors. An Agile project team wants to know how much it will take them to launch their technology in the market. Which statement is least applicable action about estimating the time for launching their product to the market? A. Predictive measurements will be utilized to estimate the project completion. B. Empirical and value-based measurements will be utilized to do the estimate. C. The estimate will be made after a few iterations when the velocity is stable. D. Agile measures what the team delivers, not what the team predicts it will deliver. Agile favors empirical and value-based measurements instead of predictive measurements. Agile measures what the team delivers, not what the team predicts it will deliver. In Agile, the team limits its estimation to the next few weeks at most. In Agile, if there is low variability in the team's work and if the team members are not multitasking, the team's capacity can become stable. This allows better prediction for the next couple of weeks. After the team completes work in iteration, the team can replan. Whether teams use burn down or burn up charts, they see what they have completed as the iteration progresses. At the end of the iteration, they might base their next measure of capacity on what they completed in this iteration. That allows the product owner along with the team to replan what the team is more likely to succeed in delivering in the next iteration. Velocity, the sum of the story point sizes for the features actually completed in this iteration, allows the team to plan its next capacity more accurately by looking at its historical performance. A. Predictive measurements will be utilized to estimate the project completion. Correct. Agile favors empirical and value-based measurements instead of predictive measurements. Agile measures what the team delivers, not what the team predicts it will deliver. Therefore, this is the correct answer since it is the least applicable action about estimating the time for launching their product. B. Empirical and value-based measurements will be utilized to do the estimate. Incorrect. This is applicable in Agile, and therefore, this is not the least applicable action about estimating the time. C. The estimate will be made after a few iterations when the velocity is stable. Incorrect. This is applicable in Agile, and therefore, it is not the least applicable action. D. Agile measures what the team delivers, not what the team predicts it will deliver. Incorrect. This is inapplicable in Agile, therefore it is not the least applicable action, therefore, the answer is not correct. Let us now look at this question. An Agile project team is trying to estimate the total number of iterations for their current project. They completed 5 iterations with an average velocity of 25 story points. What is the total number of iterations if the total number of story points is 463 story points? A. 18 iterations. B. 19 iterations. C. 21 iterations. D. 22 iterations. To calculate the total number of iterations in this release, we need to divide the total number of story points by the average velocity. The total number of story points is 463 divided by the average velocity, which is 25, so the result is 18.52 iterations, which becomes 19 iterations. A. 18 iterations, the answer is incorrect. B. 19 iterations, the answer is correct. C. 21 iterations, the answer is incorrect. D. 22 iterations. The answer is incorrect. Let us now look at this question. 2 iterations have been completed for an Agile project. The cost baseline for the project is $800,000. The actual cost for the first 2 iterations is $150,000, and 72 out of 80 story points have been completed for the first 2 iterations. What is the SPI for the first 2 iterations? A. SPI equals 0.80. B. SPI equals 0.85. C. SPI equals 0.90. D. SPI equals 0.95. To calculate the SPI for the first 2 iterations, we need to divide the total number of story points completed in the first 2 iterations divided by the planned story points in the first 2 iteration. Therefore, 72 will be divided by 80 and the result is 0.90. A. SPI equals 0.80, the answer is incorrect. B. SPI equals 0.85, the answer is incorrect. C. SPI equals 0.90, the answer is correct. D. SPI equals 0.95, the answer is incorrect. Let us now look at this question. 5 project teams are working independently managing their work in a Scrum. How can they measure their project progress? A. Burn down chart. B. Burn up chart. C. Product backlog. D. Feature chart. Since the teams are working independently, they have different unit of measurement, so the story points of each team is different. Therefore, the best way to measure the progress is by feature chart. A. Burn down chart. The answer is incorrect. B. Burn up chart. The answer is incorrect. C. Product backlog. The answer is incorrect. D. Feature chart. The answer is correct. 3 project teams are working in a Scrum and are dependent on each other. How can they coordinate their work effectively? A. By utilizing a Scrum of a Scrum. B. By utilizing a schedule baseline. C. By utilizing a feature chart. D. By utilizing a Gantt chart. Since the teams are working dependently, they need an effective tool to coordinate their work effectively. Therefore, Scrum of Scrum is the most effective method to do this job. A. By utilizing a Scrum of a Scrum. The answer is correct. B. By utilizing a schedule baseline. The answer is incorrect. C. By utilizing a feature chart. The answer is incorrect. D. By utilizing a Gantt chart. The answer is incorrect. Let us now look at this question. To verify any progress in their iterations, a team needs a tool that can help them improve their performance and verify their progress. What is the best tool to serve this purpose? A. Burn down chart. B. Burn up chart. C. Gantt chart. D. Schedule baseline. Burn downs show the effect of team members multitasking, stories that are too large, or team members out of the office. But burn up chart can show the progress of the team through their iterations. A. Burn down chart. The answer is incorrect. B. Burn up chart. The answer is correct. C. Gantt chart. The answer is incorrect. D. Schedule baseline. The answer is incorrect.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
In an Agile project environment, which answer is the least applicable approach for the leader in the team to manage project integration? A. The project manager should be the focal point of the integration management. B. The project manager will build a collaborative environment for the team. C. The team members determine how plans and components should integrate. D. When team members possess broad skills, this will enhance collaboration. The project manager should be the focal point of the integration management is in predictive project environment, not in Agile project environment. Therefore, this is the least applicable approach. A. Correct. B. Incorrect. C. Incorrect. D. Incorrect. In an Agile project environment, how should the Scrum Master approach any change to the process and any improvement to the work performance? A. changes should be made through a change control board. B. Changes should be discussed with the team members. C. Changes should be made by the Scrum Master. D. Changes should be made by the approval of a change request. In an Agile project environment, the team members are empowered to make such changes. A. Incorrect. B. Correct. C. Incorrect. D. Incorrect. The Scrum Master notices that the product owner does not meet with the project team to make sure the product meet customer expectations. Which one of the following is the least applicable action to be done by the Scrum Master? A. The Scrum Master should discuss the issue with the product owner. B. The Scrum Master should monitor the product owner involvement. C. The Scrum Master should ask the project team to work without product owner involvement. D. This issue can be discussed in the upcoming retrospective. It is part of the Scrum Master responsibility to solve any bottleneck or blockers in the sprint. Therefore, it is the Scrum Master responsibility to discuss the issue with the product owner and keep monitoring the involvement of the product owner as well as discuss the issue in the upcoming retrospective. Therefore, answer C is the least applicable action. A. The Scrum Master should discuss the issue with the product owner. Incorrect. This is an applicable action. B. The Scrum Master should monitor the product owner involvement. Incorrect. This is an applicable action. C. The Scrum Master should ask the project team to work without product owner involvement. Correct. This is the least applicable action. D. This issue can be discussed in the upcoming retrospective. Incorrect. This is an applicable action. A project has three teams: Team A, which is at the shoe level of the Scrum, Team B, which is at the HA level, and Team C, which is at the RE level. The management notices that the retrospective is not effective in their project. So they need a team that can come up with a new practice that can share the knowledge gained in the project. Which team they should select for this purpose? A. Team A. B. Team B. C. Team C. D. None of them. The management are looking for a new practice, therefore this requires a team that is very experienced so that they can invent a practice for this purpose. A. Team A. Incorrect. Team A is new to the Scrum practices, therefore they cannot invent a new practice. B. Team B. Incorrect. Team can only modify the current practice but cannot come up with new practice. C. Team C. Correct. Team C is very experienced and can invent a new practice. D. None of them. Incorrect. An Agile project team faced some problem in completing their deliverable in the last sprint. They claimed that there is a problem with features that were selected by the product owner. To discuss this issue in the retrospective and to find the root cause of the problem, what should be done? A. Utilize an affinity diagram. B. Utilize a cause and effect diagram. C. Utilize a flowchart. D. Utilize a histogram. Since the team is looking for the root cause of the problem, they should utilize a cause and effect diagram. A. Utilize an affinity diagram. Incorrect. An affinity diagram can organize potential causes of defects. B. Utilize a cause and effect diagram. Correct. Cause and effect diagram can identify the main or root cause of the problem. C. Utilize a flowchart. Incorrect. Flowcharts show a series of steps that lead to a defect. D. Utilize a histogram. Incorrect. Histograms can show the number of defects per deliverable. An Agile project team have some conflict in managing their project and in utilizing the available tools and practices in Agile. What is the thing that the Scrum Master should not do to help the team? A. The Scrum Master can help the team members to act. B. The Scrum Master can remind the team of the importance of time boxing. C. The Scrum Master can suggest to the team members to use information radiators. D. The Scrum Master can suggest to the team members to focus on low priority items. The Scrum Master should not suggest to the team members to focus on low priority items. A. The Scrum Master can help the team members to act. Incorrect. B. The Scrum Master can remind the team of the importance of time boxing. Incorrect. C. The Scrum Master can suggest to the team members to use information radiators. Incorrect. D. The Scrum Master can suggest to the team members to focus on low priority items. Correct. This is the thing that the Scrum Master should not do to help the team. Both the product owner and the analyst are not available in the sprint. Therefore, the project faces some problems that team inquiries are not resolved and therefore, work is delayed. What should the Scrum Master do? A. Discuss the issue with both the product owner and the analyst. B. Wait until the review meeting. C. Wait until the retrospective. D. Delegate the resolution to the team. The issue should be discussed as soon as possible since the success of the project requires strong ownership. A. Discuss the issue with both the product owner and the analyst. Correct. B. Wait until the review meeting. Incorrect. C. Wait until the retrospective. Incorrect. D. Utilize a histogram. Delegate the resolution to the team. Incorrect.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The first principle of the Agile Manifesto is our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. This is the first principle of the Agile Manifesto. Let us explain 4 words: highest priority, satisfy customers, early and continuous delivery, and value. Highest priority. When we are building a product such as software, our main goal is to get more customers. But what are our priorities? It is to satisfy customers. Why? Because it is not just getting more customers, it is also retaining the acquired customers as happy customers. So priority is to satisfy customers. Satisfy customers. Customers are satisfied through their needs being met, to the feeling that they are getting value for what they pay. Also knowing that they are important to the company, and that the company is working on products that has its best interest in mind is refreshing. The question now is, how can a customer feel that? Early and continuous delivery. The whole point of being agile is we need to deliver functioning pieces early. Unless we deliver early, we won't know if we need to tweak, change, pivot, and add. And why continuous? Because unless you have a system to do continuous delivery, you cannot sustain this concept of early delivery. Delivering early and then we getting a feedback and then working on it and then delivering after 5 or 6 months won't work. You need to deliver continuously, such as on a weekly basis. Also, when you deliver early and continuously, you get more touch points with your customers, which will help you keep them satisfied. Valuable software. There is no other process than Agile that allows us to check for value.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The second principle of the Agile Manifesto is welcome changing requirements, even in late development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. The fact is, we don't know what the customer will need by the time we are done developing a solution, because our customers and market are constantly changing. As a result of assessment of customer needs, there will be late requests for changes, and our choice are to either make the change or live with the consequences of not changing. Lower revenues, lower quality, higher cost of goods, lower profits, and a bad reputation in the market. Often the consequences of not changing are worse than the cost of changing. This gives rise to the second Agile principle, welcoming changing requirements. To maximize profit, we need to welcome at least some changes, even late in development.
If you like this video, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The third principle of the Agile Manifesto is deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference to the shorter timescale. Delivering frequently is the only way to ensure that what you did is making sense and working as needed or expected. What would you prefer, figuring something is not as expected at the end of the year, or knowing that at the end of 2 weeks? When there is a focus to deliver frequently, we start committing more realistically so that we can deliver frequently. There are many factors that impact this, from the working culture, to nature of what is being built, to how teams are structured, to how work is managed, to systems in place. Since you cannot solve all these issues in one shot, it is important to frequently deliver and find your way. Frequent delivery gives visibility. When you aim to deliver frequently, you will also gain visibility into your future expectations with more clarity.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The fourth principle of the Agile Manifesto is business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. More alignment needed. To ensure a proper alignment between business people and developers, we need to discuss the following roles. End users. One important aspect is that a software or piece of tech is built for someone to use, such as the end user, so technology is made for end users and not just business people. Business people. Business people are probably the group who are to have a better understanding of what end users want, and then you have intermediaries who will help translate what end users might want and then also prioritize on what will add maximum value if built. Business value. So in one way, business people are the ones who can define the business value. End users might like a lot of things. So how do you decide what to build and when? There comes the business value. Every feature you build will not have the same business value. Frequency. Now, interacting daily is not difficult, as we have so many modes to communicate and reach people. When it comes to requirements or the question, are we clear on what is to be done? The answer is yes to start, but we need more details.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The fifth principle of the Agile Manifesto is build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. The most effective way to create value for your customer is to build your projects around motivated individuals. Two things motivate individuals on software teams: a belief that the product is worth building, and a belief that the team can reasonably meet expectations. A lot of the time, teams are selected before project assignment. Agile won't remove personnel problems. In fact, Agile will make personnel issues even more apparent. As an Agile leader, creating a healthy working environment where your team feels supported will help drive motivation. There are some steps you can take to start facilitating generative behavior. Increasing communication, using failures as learning opportunities, and removing blockers are great ways to demonstrate to your team that they are safe to experiment, fail, improve, and try again. Innovation only happens when teams have the ability to experiment and take risks. Teams that take reasonable risks in the spirit of delivering the highest quality product possible shouldn't be punished if they occasionally fall short of the planned commitment. If product owners and team members don't transparently communicate, there will be delays in delivery, and customers probably won't get what they're asking for.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The sixth principle of the Agile Manifesto is the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. During the teleconference, the participants can work on their email from their office because they are invisible to the leader of the meeting, who will correct this counterproductive behavior when this is a face-to-face meeting. Teleconferences can take much more time to handle the same number of topics compared to physical face-to-face meetings. Teleconference blocks nonverbal communication, while in face-to-face meeting, the sender can verify if his message is getting through via the nonverbal communication of the group. In face-to-face meeting, you can draw anything on the whiteboard to support your story. In face-to-face meeting, getting developers involved will help them see the business purpose behind requirements. Face-to-face communication will also help during demonstrations of new models and getting approval of the new model. Face-to-face conversation will empower the development of a personal relationship.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The seventh principle of the Agile Manifesto is working software is the primary measure of progress. In Agile, there is nothing called complete software, and working software doesn't have to be fully finished to bring value to the end user. A lot of time in Agile, you're not going to complete a whole piece of functionality within a sprint. By incrementally delivering working software, end users have the ability to provide more regular feedback, which will allow the development team to make necessary changes without building unnecessary features and functionality. In most cases, working software provides value to the end user, has limited bugs, and is high performance. If we can provide additional value to the end user after each sprint, then we're showing strong signs of progress. In order to know what value the software is meant to bring the end user, it's important that the development team and customer agree on requirements and acceptance criteria. What is delivered should work well and should be tested by the end user. Once the customer has tested and approved your working software, then you can move on to the next sprint. If the customer and the entire Agile development team have a common understanding of the definition of done and of what working software is, then everyone can start working towards meeting requirements.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The eighth principle of the Agile Manifesto is Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and end users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. Sustainable development means constant production of software features during a long-lasting period. In Agile, you have to keep up to speed, but not run so fast that you exhaust yourself or your team members. Sometimes, projects start relaxed and easy when deadline is away, and end up working long hours, nights, and weekends, fixing the project and delivering the end result. The amount of time and effort the team invests in a development process has to be more or less constant during the whole process. This is not only the case for the developers, but also for the other team members and stakeholders like testers, designers, sponsors, and users. All these groups suffer when the pace varies a lot. During periods of little activity, the focus and interest in the project product demises, and in periods of peak activity, the stress and frustration reduces the accuracy needed to perform the work correctly, e.g. testing, deployment, etc.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The ninth principle of the Agile Manifesto is continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. Technical excellence and good design means you build with agility in mind. You will want to make changes in the future, so you should follow coding standards, document your code, build automated test cases, and design your system to enable change to easier in the future. Good design and technical excellence are the enablers of the agility of your development environment. Make sure you choose the right technology and the right design. Design and technical excellence should not be complex for the sake of complexity, but to increase agility over time. For each feature, the team should be continuously focused on building with smart technology and smart design. For example, being able to break up the application into different modules so a change in one will not affect the other. This is an example of designing a system that will increase the team's agility over time. Building monitoring and evaluation processes into product so that it will give you more feedback, and as a result, better decisions can be made. As a result of automation of repetitive work, continuous delivery pipelines enable teams to make changes quickly but require investment to build and set up.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The 10th principle of the Agile Manifesto, simplicity. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. Maximizing the amount of work not done means maximizing the amount of unnecessary work not done. The value as defined by the customer is whatever they think they're paying for. Anything other than that is defined as waste. If we have to do additional things beyond building the product that the customer cares about, that is called overhead. So we want to minimize all of that. In the context of a software development and delivery organization, the value-producing activities include all the usual things we do when we produce software, from designing what functionality we should write, prioritizing the functionalities, deciding how to implement the functionality, getting the resources, organizing people into groups, obtaining funding, keeping track of things, fixing any errors, adjusting course, checking, packaging, deploying, releasing, and monitoring the solution, and getting feedback from customers about how to improve the solution. How we do things is up to us. We want to minimize the cost of doing them. If we set things up so that it's cumbersome to get the work done, our customers won't pay extra to cover the cost of our inefficiency. It's our problem, not theirs.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The 11th principle of the Agile Manifesto is, the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. The interaction designer designed a user interface. The architect created a global systems model. Developers created code, and infrastructure specialists created the necessary environment to run the application on. Everyone was specialized and delivered the best solution within their capabilities. However, when all these components were put together, nothing worked. It is an illusion that specialists can design and foresee everything beforehand. Within Agile projects, the solution is to use a self-organizing team to perform these tasks. This team may consist of specialists, but this is not a requirement. The requirement of this team is that they work together and self-organize all aspects of the systems to be delivered. This team is permitted to make errors and invent their solutions, provided that they deliver and evaluate frequently, retrospective, and learn from their successes and errors. Most traditional specialists, like architect, infrastructure specialists, and especially project managers, will have problems with this approach. Their reaction on this approach is to warn for a result in chaos. The team can lose all purpose and meaning without specialists and leaders. However, the secret for successful self-organization is taking your team serious. How to handle technical designers? Make these designers part of the team and let them build parts of their designs themselves. Designs become practical, simple to implement, and easy to maintain. The same is true for architecture. Let the architecture emerge from the team itself. A software team that changes its architecture on a day-to-day basis is not able to deliver any valuable software. The way to manage this architectural freedom is to agree upon architectural boundaries with the Agile team, such as the boundaries that are set by the development language such as Java. The team agrees upon these boundaries and is able to change the architecture between these boundaries.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos. If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The 12th principle of the Agile Manifesto is, at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. One of the core values of the Agile Manifesto is responding to change over following a plan. While responding to change clearly identifies changes to the scope of the software, it's also important for Agile teams to respond to changes in process, team composition, and workflow. In an effort to continuously improve your software, processes, and workflow, it's important to regularly meet to reflect and adjust your behavior. This meeting is often referred to as a retrospective. Retrospectives typically follow the cadence of your working periods. For example, if you're working in 2-week sprints, you should have retrospectives every 2 weeks at the end of your sprints. At the end of a sprint, teams should look back and reflect on the work they did. What did they accomplish? What did they not accomplish? And how can they improve their methods? You don't want to keep making the same mistakes and causing the same issues you have in previous sprints. If you continue to run into issues with communication, documentation, or any number of other things, you're going to keep running into blockers. By setting aside time to actually reflect on the work you did and how you did the work, retrospectives allow you to fix those issues moving forward.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The first Agile Manifesto value is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. The first value in the Agile Manifesto is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Valuing people more highly than processes or tools is easy to understand because it is the people who respond to business needs and drive the development process. If the process or the tools drive development, the team is less responsive to change and less likely to meet customer needs. Communication is an example of the difference between valuing individuals versus process. In the case of individuals, communication is fluid and happens when a need arises. In the case of process, communication is scheduled and requires specific content. Tools allow us to do many things faster, more secure, or more transparent. Examples could be development lifecycle tools like Jira, or even hardware tools like laptops. Tools always have an inherent restriction. They can't easily be changed. Processes describe workflow steps, give a reason for them, and what the result should be like to provide value for the company. Sometimes they also include who should do this step. Processes are more adaptable than tools. For example, changing SAP as a tool is more difficult than adding a step to your billing process. Processes are also describing a few interactions. Interactions sometimes are prescribed or limited by processes, which are limited by tools. Individuals such as a Scrum Master promotes fruitful interactions of the Scrum team. A Scrum Master helps the product owner, leads and trains the organization, and removes barriers between stakeholders and Scrum teams. Individuals are more flexible and adaptable than tools, processes, and learn to interact with other individuals for a long time. Individuals not respecting the tools, processes, and interactions in a company at all might not like to work there. Individuals not being able or willing to change tools, processes, and interact within a company for the better might leave the company. A Scrum Master builds on individuals by promoting a team-first culture, making learning opportunities visible, showing a broad selection of tools for people to choose from, handing people all data they need for them to choose from, keeping processes lightweight so individuals can change them, and showing the results of interactions so individuals can determine by themselves whether those should be repeated. To discuss this first value in detail, we need to cover the following subjects. Servant leadership empowers the team. Team composition. Charter the project and the team. Daily stand-ups. Organizational culture.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The third Agile Manifesto value is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Negotiation is the period when the customer and the product manager work out the details of a delivery. With development models such as waterfall, customers negotiate the requirements for the product, often in great detail, prior to any work starting. This meant the customer was involved in the process of development before development began and after it was completed, but not during the process. Historical project management approaches usually involve customers at 3 key points. Project start, when the customer and the project manager or another project team representative negotiate contract details. Anytime scope changes during the project, when the customer and the project manager negotiate changes to the contract. End of a project, when the project team delivers a completed product to the customer. If the product doesn't meet the customer expectations, the project manager and the customer negotiate additional changes to the contract. The Agile Manifesto describes a customer who is engaged and collaborates throughout the development process. On an Agile project, customer review is built into the process, and the customer gets to see the product at the end of every sprint. You can create highest priority features first, which gives you the opportunity to ensure maximum value early on, when little of the customer's money has been invested. If you use a traditional development model, any changes to product requirements, priorities, timelines, and budgets can greatly disrupt the project. In contrast, Agile processes handle project and product changes in beneficial ways. For example, Agile projects create an opportunity for increased customer satisfaction and return on investment by handling change effectively. Changes can be incorporated into subsequent iterations routinely and smoothly. Customers like Agile projects because they can accommodate changing requirements and generate higher value products. To discuss this third value in detail, we need to cover the following subjects: team composition, measurements in Agile projects, organizational culture, procurement and contracts, organizational structure.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The second Agile Manifesto is working software over comprehensive documentation. In the past, enormous amounts of time were spent on documenting the product for development and ultimate delivery. It was an extensive list of documents, and it was a cause for the long delays in development. Agile does not eliminate documentation, but it streamlines it in a form that gives the developer what is needed to do the work. Agile documents requirements as user stories, which are sufficient for a software developer to begin the task of building a new function. The Agile Manifesto values documentation, but it values working software more. For software products, working software means the software meets what's called the definition of done. At the very least, developed, tested, integrated, and documented. On a traditional project, if you're 75% done, you don't have any working software to give the customer. 75% done traditionally means you're 75% in progress and 0% done. On an Agile project, however, if you're 75% done, you have working product features for 75% of your project requirements. On Agile projects, documents are useful only if they're barely sufficient to serve the design, delivery, and deployment of a working product. Agile project teams produce fewer, more streamlined documents that take less time to maintain and provide better visibility into potential issues. Often, the only documentation needs are requirements documentation. All projects have requirements, details about product features and needs. Development teams need to know those needs to create a product. Product technical specifications. Documenting how you created a product can make future changes easier. With Agile approaches, project teams spend more time on development and less time on documentation, resulting in a more efficient delivery of a working product. To discuss this second value in detail, we need to cover the following subjects: backlog preparation, backlog refinement, demonstrations and reviews, execution practices that help teams deliver value.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.
The fourth Agile Manifesto value is responding to change over following a plan. Traditional software development regarded change as an expense, so it was to be avoided. The intention was to develop plans with a defined set of features and with a large number of many dependencies. Traditional project management methodologies have always tried to control the amount of change within a project. Agile project management turned this approach to change management upside down with its Agile Manifesto, responding to change over following a plan. On Agile projects, the ability to not only respond to, but welcome change is the most powerful tool. For example, while Scrum has a rule of no change within the sprint, you are free to add, remove, or reprioritize the product backlog. This means that Scrum accommodates any degree of change in between sprints. Traditional project teams often find themselves blindly following a plan, missing opportunities to create more valuable products. As time and knowledge about your product increases, the ability to make change decreases and costs more. By contrast, Agile projects accommodate change systematically. The Agile approaches to planning, working, and prioritization allow project teams to respond quickly to change. To discuss this fourth value in detail, we need to cover the following subjects: retrospectives, backlog refinement, demonstrations and reviews.
If you like this video, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, share it, like it, and write comments so that this channel can provide more videos.